In here we're going to talk about the greenhouse state of affairs. Outside I have some apples that I think are just volunteers. I've had these for a couple years in pots and they're usually pretty sickly, and I think they were just volunteers I decided to let live, but I don't know that I'd ever get fruit off of them, or even if I did that it would be any good. So we'll see what happens with those guys. Some gardenias. I have 2 gardenias that I planted up front. The soil is terrible, so they were struggling. So I put them in pots, and I could find a permanent home for them. One more green zebra tomato. I started a lot of those this season. Aunt Molly's husk ground cherry, and a spare red acre cabbage. That's looking pretty sad. I don't think it's ever going to get to be a cabbage. And here I just moved my trees back into the greenhouse. This is I believe it's a bear seedless line, which is the last tree that gave me fruit, which was very nice. Pomegranate that I lost the tag for and don't remember the type, that's had many a struggle. I've had it for like at least 5 years. It's never given me fruit, and now I'm deciding whether or not to maybe plant it out in the front, and either it will be really happy or it might die. And the problem with not knowing the varieties, I don't know how cold hardy it is, because like we stay pretty warm most of the year, but like this year we had the lows get down in the low 20s, and some years they go below that, and that might not do it for that guy. I don't know, so remains to be seen. Anyway, some more plant starts. I have some okras that I've decided apparently just don't like to be transplanted, so those are going to probably just be moved out of that pot, and pots will be reused for something. A couple more green zebras, and that one you can see super huge and healthy in a tiny pot, probably getting root bound, but we need to transplant it soon. That is a Tulsi, holy basil, the variety is called Kapoor, that I overwintered in a little pot inside, and it was real puny, but kept on trucking, and then I repotted it, and now it's getting all kinds of new growth and is super happy, so that's cool, like that. That right there is a hollyhock. I started a bunch of those and then transferred them out in the front, and that little guy that was an extra, I didn't have a place for, so I kept it in a pot and like, I'll find another spot for you, and it's gotten to be like 4 times the size of its compatriots in the front yard. And then here we have a couple spare aromas, and we'll talk about the aromas probably in another section. And these boys right here, those are all black cherry tomato starts, and I'm kind of excited for that because they're black, so that's fun. And I've only had minimal success with cherry tomatoes, even though I understand they're very easy to grow, and I just really haven't tried. I've only had like 1 or 2 plants historically. I haven't paid much attention to them, so doing things differently this year. Those are more, I believe, black cherries. These are Hungarian paprika spice peppers. I've also never attempted to grow. I'm doing a lot of that this year. Celery, that looks pretty sad, but again, this is a new thing. Pineapple sage, which I just got from a nursery the other day. I need to plant it out. Another sugar baby watermelon that I'm going to plant out sometime soon. And more Aunt Molly's husk cherries that look super happy, and I'm sure are getting root bound in their tiny cups. And last tree in here is my Lisbon lemon, and that is an avocado from seed. That is probably also a waste of time and space, because I've since learned that avocados really don't grow true to type, and you may wait 10 years for fruit and have it be garbage. But yeah, my lemon seems to be doing pretty well this year. Doesn't seem as stressed. I waited and kind of let them adjust on the patio where they get some shade before going into full sun before bringing it back in here, because every year they get really bad leaf damage. And yeah, I didn't know that you gotta harden them off, let the leaves thicken up and get used to full sunlight. Seems like one of those important things to learn, and I finally did. So that concludes greenhouse, I think, on 4/29/21.